The Lions are on the road but looking no worse for wear. A win is still up for grabs for either team after 3 quarters, but the Lions are up 23-21 over the Vikings. If the Lions keep playing like this, they'll bump their record up to 11-4 in no time. On the other hand, the Vikings will have to make do with a 7-8 record unless they turn things around, and fast. Detroit Lions at Minnesota VikingsCurrent Records. Detroit 10-4, Minnesota 7-7. The Vikings will be in front of their home fans on Sunday, but a look at the spread shows they might need that home field advantage. They will be home for the holidays to greet the Detroit Lions at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at US Bank Stadium. The last 4 games the Vikings have played have been within 3 points, so don't be surprised if it's a close one. Minnesota fought the good fight in their overtime matchup against Cincinnati last Saturday but wound up with a less than desirable result. They fell just short of the Bengals by a score of 27-24. The loss hurts even more since Minnesota was up 17-3 with 4:36 left in the third. Despite their loss, the Vikings saw several players rise to the challenge and make noteworthy plays. Chandler, who rushed for 132 yards and a touchdown, was perhaps the best of all. That's the first time this season that Chandler rushed for 100 or more yards. Jordan Addison was another key contributor, picking up 111 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Even if they lost, the Vikings' defense still kept up the pressure with 5 sacks. Leading the way was Danielle Hunter and his 2 sacks. Even though Detroit has not done well against Denver recently, they were 0-3 in their previous 3 matchups. They didn't let the past get in their way last Saturday. Everything went the Lions' way against the Broncos as the Lions made off with a 42-17 win. That looming 42-17 mark stands out as the most commanding margin for Detroit yet this season. Among those leading the charge was Jared Goff, who threw for 278 yards and 5 touchdowns. His posted a season-high passer rating of 134.6. Another player making a difference was Jahmyr Gibbs, who gained 108 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Minnesota has traveled a rocky road recently, as they've lost 3 of their last 4 matches, which put a noticeable dent in their 7-7 record this season. As for Detroit, their win bumped their record up to 10-4. Minnesota came up short against Detroit in their previous matchup back in December of 2022, falling 34-23. A big factor in that loss was the dominant performance of Goff, who threw for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now that the Vikings know the damage he can cause, will they be able to stop him this time? There's only one way to find out. Detroit is a slight 2.5-point favorite against Minnesota, according to the latest NFL odds. The oddsmakers had a good feel for the line for this one, as the game opened with the Lions as a 3.5-point favorite. The over/under is set at 47.5 points.